And we were talking about the iPhone earlier. The iWatch kind of came in with this one. 1931, Chester Gould's comic strip Dick Tracy debuted. He had a little watch. Confused that way. How about 33? Esquire magazine published for the first time. 57, the first man-made satellite was launched into space by the Soviet Union. That was Sputnik 1. How about 57? Leave It to Beaver debuted on CBS. The show starred Barbara Billingsley, Hugh Beaumont, Tony Dow, and Jerry Mathers as the Beav. 1970, rock singer Janis Joplin died of a drug overdose, 27 years old. 1975, Willie Nelson earned his first #1 country hit with Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. 89, Art Shell was appointed coach of the Oakland Raiders, making him the first black coach in modern NFL. It was 89, legendary racehorse Secretariat died at the age of 19. Is that young for a horse?
That seems young.
Yeah, I thought horses got into their 20s for sure, like 25, 26, 27 at Secretariat. 1990, the Aaron Spelling TV series Beverly Hills 90210 debuted on Fox. Kind of a charming, even though they all turned out to be snots, but they were talking about, they were together on the show, and they were this band of youngsters who were doing the show, and they weren't sure, they knew they were popular, but they didn't know. They drove up to a mall to do an appearance, and they looked, and they said it was like it was a pro football game on a Sunday. And they looked and saw literally thousands and thousands of kids and people lined up, and that's when they went, oh, so this is what we're doing. And they had no clue because they were all in studio doing their stuff.
Very popular show. Yeah, people,
it
and
was
it's
nuts.
I mean, that shows that we're still talking about it. It was a popular show for its time.
In Melrose Place, and a lot of the stars have gone on to big things like Sharknado. Let's go on here. What else do we have? Gordon Cooper, Rich, on this day. Passed. Yeah. Right here in Ventura. He was a Mercury astronaut, yeah, and that was it. And that's really, really amazing. What a guy. 1963, the rock and roll is here. Eric Clapton was invited to replace Anthony Topham in a little band called the Yardbirds. It was 1968, one of my favorite trios of all time, favorite bands. Cream began their farewell tour. They began it in Oakland. It was 69, Crosby, Stills and Nash released the single Sweet Judy Blue Eyes. And we also have 74, Thin Lizzy played their first gig. Yes, the boys were back in town in 74. 1980, this was huge for the Trojan Marching Band. They were on the Tusk album with Fleetwood Mac. And at Dodger Stadium, they did this big video, and that was put out there. And those kids, think about it, that were in the band at that time, many of them can look back at that video. That was huge on MTV. Say, hey, that's me playing the trumpet. They were the
that band is always
good. Yeah, they're always big time. Queen's Another One Bites the Dust hit #1 on the pop singles chart, same year, 1980. 86, CBS anchor Dan Rather was attacked by two people who kept saying, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?" And they kind of mugged him. And REM made a song called "What's the Frequency, Kenneth?" We should play that. It's a great tune. Boston's Amanda broke into the top 40. Yes, Boston came back in 1980. It was 94, the Eagles reunion tour, which I saw, was cut short when Glenn Frey fell ill. He had stomach issues. We also have Crosby, Stills, Nash 25th anniversary tour was cut short because David Crosby fell ill. They gave him a new liver. It was 96, Van Halen announced the singer Gary Cherone would replace Sammy Hagar. It didn't work. It bombed out. He was in a band called Extreme that had a big hit called More Than Words. How about 2004? I just dropped into my Casey case, and by the way, to do that. It was 2004. You know your band is an oldies band when the lead singer or guitarist gets a hip replacement. That happened to Motley Crue. What else? We do have Sammy Hagar kicking off his birthday bash with Cabo Wabo. The dude made more money off that when he sold it than he did in his entire rock music career. I think he sold the Cabo Wabo brand of tequila for like $1 billion. Bam.
Wow.
Mellencamp and Neil Young got together for Farm Aid in 2009. That happened in St. Louis. And we also have, finally, in Loughborough, University of Leicester, let's try that, in England, launched a 2-day conference on the Beatles to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the release of what song? It was one of their first hits. Very, very early. Very early. And it says here their first signal. It was Love Me Do. Love Me Do was the first one out. Yes. motorcycle. Mhm. Yes, very, very sad note. 7:26 Thursday morning, October 4th.